nowadays. Normal person should take 5 grams of salt or 2.4 grams sodium. If you take double the salt, and imagine the two situations. One, if you take 10 grams, and second, you take 1/3 or 1/2 of the 5 grams. So half of that. So you classify all your patients or all the population into salt sensitive and salt resistant. Salt resistant means you take whatever quantity of salt, but your BP will not go up. So that is called salt resistant individual. And salt sensitive means if you double the salt intake, your BP, systolic BP will go up by 10%. If you half or reduce the salt intake by 1/3, the systolic BP will be reduced by 10% of your normal salt BP. So those individuals who are salt sensitive, two more slides you should really look into the details of it. And one is this slide, where the salt sensitive individuals and salt resistant individuals both taking lot of salt. What happens is physiologically they will inhibit the aldosterone level. So you know RAS system, renin angiotensin aldosterone sodium system. So if you take lot of salt, negative feedback, you inhibit aldosterone. So aldosterone is a salt hormone. If it is depressed, it won't be available for mineralocorticoid receptor activation. These mineralocorticoid receptors are there in the kidneys, they are in the vessels, they are in the heart, they are in the brain, they are in multiple places. So, but paradoxically in salt sensitive people, what happens is this, in spite of aldosterone being suppressed, there is some other modifier factor that is called PLAC1, which will activate this mineralocorticoid receptor continuously, consistently, depending on your salt intake. So RAC1 picture in that syndrome, the RAC1 continuously and persistently activates mineralocorticoid receptor, and that leads to inflammation. So salt is directly equated to inflammation in salt sensitive people. That's the message I would like to carry you home. Then second slide is same thing. If you have defined all the population into salt sensitive and salt resistant people. Now, if you take lot of salt, you will inhibit the sympathetic nervous system. These two systems try and control or fine tune the kidney perfusion and GFR and renal sodium and your salt water balance and pressure balance. So renal angiotensin system and sympathetic nervous system. Both these systems will be inhibited or depressed once you take a lot of salt. But in those salt sensitive people, the beta adrenergic receptor is aberrantly placed. It will be aberrantly activated in salt sensitive people. So what does this beta adrenergic receptor does is this glucocorticoid receptor WNK and NCC pathway. There is one pathway. NCC sodium chloride co-transporter, which is there in the distal convoluted tubule, which is fine-tuning your sodium reabsorption. So if this NCC is upregulated constantly because WNK is downregulated, it's a negative feedback system, then this NCC will be constantly reabsorbing your sodium and you will have anti-natriuretic effect of this beta adrenergic stimulation. So type A personality who is aggressive, who is firing everybody around, is sympathetically stimulated, will have salt sensitive people will have this system upregulated, and then we will have hypertension. So this hypertension is different from essential hypertension where inflammation is upregulated. In essential hypertension where the salt sensitive people are not there, inflammation is not there. So with this we will stop on salt as a target and we will take home that salt sensitive people, amount of salt taken in diet is the lifestyle target for those 7-8 disease people. This CME MIM group are all salt sensitive. This is the bad news because cardiovascular system, if you have coronary artery disease, think that you are salt sensitive. If you have renal disease, CKD, imagine that you are salt sensitive, CKD with hypertension. If you have metabolic syndrome, fasting hyperglycemia, hypertriglyceridemia, low LDL, HDL, central obesity, hypertension, all these are metabolic syndrome group. So those people, they are salt sensitive. And then atherosclerosis indicates that you are beta-inflamed, indicates that they are short circuited. So you have to really define these people into short circuited group and educate them that their salt intake per day should be half the normal. Then only they will protect their organs. Third target is weight. Epidemiological studies have revealed that obesity will have 7 times, overweight people will have 3 times more incidence of type 2 diabetes as compared to normal weight people. So normal weight depends on the height of the person. So in height in centimeter minus 100 will should be the weight of the person. So my weight at 163 centimeters should be 63 kilo. So weight is the new lifestyle target. What it does is weight reduction by calorie restriction is the treatment for this new target. And calorie restriction or energy restriction will have 2 effects which are very crucial in controlling this target. One is mitochondrial biogenesis. Nowadays, diabetes and diabesity or obesity is fought with drugs to reduce sugar. But to reduce weight, you need to manipulate your mitochondria so that they will have beta oxidation, they will have fat burning, and they will have more ATPs being consumed, your food being consumed for heat generation rather than fatty acid generation. So brown fat or mitochondrial biogenesis is the new therapy for diabetes. So weight reduction by calorie restriction is the buzzword for this weight as a target. Calorie restriction, how much? 25. If you are overweight, if you are obese, if you are overweight, then 25% of your total calorie consumption is enough. If you reduce calorie restriction to 40% or more, then you will develop immunocompromised state. You will develop more diseases, you will develop more infections, pneumonia. So drastic calorie restriction is not advisable. Second is, nowadays people are working in gyms to build their muscles. So protein intake is, people are eating like Atkins diet and 100% calories in proteins or 90%, 80%. So that is also not advisable. So protein, then weight, protein intake and muscle mass, these 3 factors are new life targets for kidney protection. And if these 3 factors are different for non-dialysis CKD and dialysis CKD people. Dialysis CKD people, overweight and protein intake, more the protein intake, more the person's weight, more the obesity, he will live longer because it's a negative cash flow situation in dialysis population. And more the stock he has, he will live more. But non-dialysis CKD G0 to G5 stages, where these factors, protein intake, lower the protein intake, better you will be protected, kidneys will be protected. More the weight, again the problems with kidney progression. Muscle mass, thin build, low muscle mass or sarcopenia will kill you faster and will have harmful effects on kidney in Z0 to G5 period of your CKD journey. Now, the next lifestyle target, new target is oxidant stress. That is, electrons you generate. We all know that in oxidative phosphorylation, Krebs cycle, or EMP pathway, where glucose is consumed, 8 ATPs are synthesized in EMP pathway, and 36 generated in Krebs cycle. So during these glucose and fatty acid being burned to store carbon dioxide, you are on this cytochrome P450 system in the mitochondria, oxygen is being consumed, and these heat being transferred to a power molecule or energy molecule, and ATP is consumed. During this heat transfer, free electrons are generated. So it's like mitochondria being a kitchen, and cytochrome P450 system is like your oven, fish preparing power, then that heat generated in that mitochondria will have to be trapped into ATP purely and should not leak outside the mitochondria, outside the cell, because these electrons they are also called free reactive oxygen or nitrogen molecules, radicals, free NOx. These molecules, if they are released into the cytoplasm or outside the cell, they will injure the membranes, proteins, nucleic acids, nucleus, and also the depletion in your number of organ cells is directly proportional to your aging. Some people become very old at the age of 40, and some people live for 200 years. This difference is depending on the aging of the organ cells. So, free radical daily business every day in the cell, and if immune protection is this free radicals. We will just brush through these slides of this free radicals. Normally, these electrons, when they are being trapped on cytoplasm complex 1, 2, 3, basically 3 towers are there in these mitochondria. On one tower, the electrons jump on second to third, and during this journey of electrons, the ATP is tracking that ADP is tracking that into a phosphate molecule, and it is being generated. Now, this system is basically a this picture is showing you increasing levels of mitochondrial reactive oxygen species being manufactured or generated. In left side of the graph, you have these electrons which are required for generation of ATP. That is homeostasis. That is what is the cell is lived for. If these electrons are generated little more, they will have some physiological functions. It's not that these free electrons are waste or useless. They are used by physiology in doing different functions, which are when they are an indicator that some stress is happening to the cell, and cell will have some function from that. And the third end of the graph, where all this carefully ready amine group lies, is where the mitochondrial NOx levels are so high that they will kill the cell, and number of cells in the kidney, the heart, in the liver will keep on depleting with each hit, and one day you will have CKD or heart failure or liver cirrhosis, or your brain will go for Alzheimer's. Aging will happen. So we will just see that what these free electrons do in our routine business or in health. What they do is basically they are like an alarm on your doorbell. If alarm rings, you know that somebody is coming in the room. Exactly, these free electrons are warning the cell that some cell stress is coming in, and these stresses are hypoxia, starvation, pathogens coming into the cell, or the growth factors, growth hormones. Cell division is also a stress for the cell. So these factors will be dealt with by these free electrons by mitochondrial fusion or fission. They will induce mitochondrial biogenesis. They will induce inflammation and inflammation. Inflammation is not bad all the time. It is good for some time. So all those functions, autophagy is the cell function where it's like a municipality of the cell, autophagy. So that is stimulated by these free radicals. All these functions are essential for cell survival for 100 years, but in a limit, if it happens, you will live. If it crosses the limit, you will kill the cell. That's the story of this free reactive oxygen nitrogen species. So, to cut the story short on oxidative stress, I would like you to take home 3 questions. Am I inflamed? I would say, if I am diabetic, I am inflamed. If I have heart disease, I am inflamed. If I am obese, I may be inflamed, I may not be inflamed. If I have atherosclerosis, I am inflamed. If I have diabetes, I told you, hypertension, I may be inflamed, I may not be inflamed. So, if the answer to if you are inflamed, simple test is HSCRP in your routine clinical lab. Get your highly sensitive C-reactive protein. If that is high in a healthy moving around person, then you should take cognizance of it. and say that you are inflamed. Once you say, that you are inflamed, then ask yourself whether that inflammation is microbial, it can cause bacterial, viral, fungal, protozoal, or helminthic infections can cause HSCRP. If that is microbial, need not worry. If it is autoimmune, you have to find out which system is giving you this inflamed trademark. If it is beta-inflammation, overeating, fatty acid, I told you, saturated fatty acids, free fatty acids, more glucose, all those factors will inflame you. If it is beta-inflammation, your action should be different. And once your innate immune system, I told you the slide, shown you the slide of inflammasome, how it is a cell organism continuously acting and stimulated by synergism between toll-like receptors and knot-like receptors. These are the two receptors on each cell. So if they are stimulated, then this inflammasome is stimulated and it will give production of interleukin 1, interleukin 6, interleukin 18. All those interleukins we are well known of in COVID era. We are titrating them and measuring them whether we are inflamed or not. So this beta-inflammation, if stays over a period of time, then it will call in adaptive immune system, T cells, macrophages, B cells, in the organ, kidney, heart, vessels, brain. It will invite this adaptive immune system, and you will end up in immunometabolic disorder. Immunometabolic disorder is a permanent shortening life syndrome. You will shorten your life depending on how severe it is by at least 10 years to 20 years, at least if you have this syndrome. So diagnosing immunometabolic syndrome or KME group is the new lifestyle target and find out which type of inflammation you are. Knowing once that you have meta-inflammation, you will see what to do. If you have autoimmune inflammation, different system. If you have bacterial, say you have a chronic gingivitis, because you are eating, chewing tobacco, then you know what to do for that inflammation, which is harming you, especially in diabetes. So you have to really understand what is the cause of inflammation and how to control that. So inflammasome activation, I told you this picture, we won't go in details of this slide, but inflammasome is an assembled 3-molecule dimer. Knot-like receptor, ASP protein, and caspase 1, proactive, inactive caspase 1. These 3 molecules are synergistically activated by knot-like receptor and toll-like receptor. Toll-like receptor is on the cell surface, knot-like receptor is in the cytoplasm of each cell, and toll-like receptor is stimulated by your metabolic endotoxins, glycopolysaccharides. Convert yourself into type 2. That's the message for the day. Analyze yourself. If you are type A, change yourself. And changing from personality from type A to type B needs only determination and motivation here, which is there going to be there inside you. It's not outside. It's not any drug. You need to change yourself from inside. No drug, no doctor can change. Even I cannot change my daughter who is just schoolboy. So that's the situation. You need to change yourself. I to type is changing is a very powerful way of converting yourself or slowing down yourself in this KME value environment. So new target is the pH of your blood, particularly in AKI and ICU people. If your pH is towards acidic, then probably you have a defect and you will live lesser than your pH, which is tightly controlled. And that depends again on your diet. So find out if this is a new target for AKI in ICU people. So this plate of food, the left side of items are acidic foods and right side of the plate is alkaline foods. So choose alkaline foods if your pH is slightly towards acidic side. So again, this is a long-term this thing, but Too much of alkali in your food is also harmful. Too much of acid is also harmful. So to give the message here, you have this Mediterranean diet or NASH diet. We won't go into details of what these diets are. These pictures itself demonstrate the processed food, cake, pastry, fried French fries, and there are many items which everybody likes. That is need to be consumed as low as possible. And this green side, colored pigmented fruits, natural side, is Mediterranean food or dash diet should be taken more and more. So last two slides, alcohol and tobacco use increases your Carving syndrome, heart, kidney, and metabolic syndrome. So do not use. Those who love alcohol, my message to them is 10 grams per day maximum. Find out in beer, 5% beer, 5% is 5 grams per 100 ml. So you can have only 200 ml per day. If you have 10% beer, you can have only 100 ml beer. If you have wine, which is 18%, then you have 50 ml wine only. If you have whiskey, 10 grams per day. That's the dose you are supposed to drink every day if you want to protect from carrying any MIM. So to summarize my talk, find out this CME many MIM syndrome, find out the root cause and find out the lifestyle disorder you have. People have many lifestyle disorders. Ahara Nidra Bhayamay. There are many lectures on this, so we won't go into details. Diet, nutrition, salt I told you target, weight optimization, awareness of IIMSR is the key for doctors. The physical activity, changing ourselves from sedentary behavior to IGB, attitude, metabolic profile, restrict all and stop program. So thank you very much and stop here.
Very nice presentation and very clear cut take home message to the audience or delegates. But one point I want to clear that as we are aware about the heart diseases, liver, diet and all the things, but fortunately or unfortunately, the society people are not knowing about the real diet or the real accumulation or real awareness of the disease. So I think that will be the answer for this and it will cover all.
Yes, awareness is the key for many diseases. So it's our job to create awareness in our society. And the society, cream of the society is doctors. We need to create awareness of this MIM group, meta-inflammation, immunometabolic syndrome, into doctors and ways to fight it. This MIM, meta-inflammation, immunometabolic syndrome, starts before somebody develops diabetes, starts before somebody develops heart attack, coronary artery disease, before atherosclerosis. The situation is it's before, and it can develop after also. It's a two-way. In my next lecture, I can show you how once you develop kidney disease, what are the mechanisms you develop inflammation. So this is before CKD beginning, and after CKD also it becomes the major player.
Excellent and alternate talk by the Badnapur JIIU. And from next evening onward, we should prepare and take the
Yes, please.
This is some explain motion
Yes. So people are fond of carrying them slices of kakadi, and they claim that water becomes alkaline. So this is what I'm telling you. This is a new target or new lifestyle modification way coming up in a big way. So if you are acidotic, of course, these disorders, people are likely to have chronic metabolic acidosis, and they will have their bone disease, their muscle disease, they will be developing fatigue, many effects of acidosis. So countering that through nutrition is a very good way of doing it rather than giving alcohol to the person.
We are running short of time, so I have one more session, and then we will continue the discussion.
Thank you, sir. With this, I call upon Dr. Yogesh Jalna, sir. He is Associate Professor in Medicine and ICU in charge at IIMSR. He is Secretary for ISCM 2325. He is Chairperson of a national project that is run by IMA Our Counseling. He has 13 years of experience in critical care, huge work in electrolyte imbalance and ventilated patients. He was faculty and chairperson in many of the national and international conferences. Yes, but I call him for his talk on cadaver detection and intervention to organ procurement. I requested Dr. Lodikar Madam and Dr. Nagaputta Madam to kindly chair the session.
Good afternoon, everyone. Since morning, the very important topic we all have been discussing, and that was very important need of our, because too many lives we will lose to CKD, and we don't have many organs for with which like we can save all these lives, because dialyzing a patient 3 times a week, that is what patient goes through and what relatives